Here today, Magic, we've got the Passion Pit. The top teams from the open bracket side of things are going to see who is going to take on teams like Optic and FaZe in next weekend's culmination of the HCS 4K. But it all starts today with the Passion Pit.
This is it. This is like the LAN format in the online space, because we start right here with these qualifiers where the top 4 teams from today will join those top 12 in pool play next weekend. But there's a lot to prove. There's a lot to fight for, because if you want to be the best from, like, you know, the amateur scene or the up and coming, some orgs are involved in today's matches as well. And if you really want to break into that top 16, like, this literally comes down to just today to prove what you're made of. So we're jumping on board with a couple of teams that maybe we're less familiar with. And I know for you and me, Mikowski, this is something that we really enjoy, getting to see new teams, getting to see new rosters, new players, and just see who turns up today.
Yeah, you know, from the casting side, it might get a little difficult when a name comes up that you haven't necessarily seen before or don't understand the pronunciation of it. As you see here, Mist Ninjutsu. I think I got that right. First time on the LVT stream. And like you said, Magic, this is what we love to see. Players from the open bracket side of things proving that they have what it takes to take on the league's best.
And this is just like the opening stage. This is winners round 1. So we are in those best of 3s, and these series can go quickly, and there's just that much more pressure, I feel like, on the very first game as we're here. CTF Argyle for game 1 on board with Lethal Vixen, and that's part of the team name, actually. TLF stands for Team Lethal Fox, so it makes sense. Lethal Vixen here with the sniper, full ammo usage, 7 rounds after lining up a beautiful snipe with 1. And this is a full push from TLF trying to get to that flag, but they're trading out kills in the base. It's going to be Lethal Vixen with the cover fire with that sniper. Emphany is in the back of the base trying to get the flag full. Emphany actually staying alive, getting the kill, and that allows Lethal Vixen to kind of rotate to cover and give a little bit of oversight. That flag push is going to get stopped short, but they're quickly mounting another offensive.
Wow, and I love this reposition here from Lethal Vixen. Had the anchor point on the long haul, but then started getting some shots in the back. Repositions here to top camo. Finds a snipe and a kill from the grave. So a great trade there from Mist Ninja, or from TLF, as they make sure to trade out, and not only trade out, but have the numbers advantage as well. Now a 2-2 split, even on the feed, even map control. This one is deadlocked here with just over 2 off the clock.
I don't think we're surprised at this stage, right? This is how Argyle plays out. But you see Lethal Vixen gets the double kill, and it takes multiple rounds of slays to get the capture. But off of those slays, do they lose the active camo? I think it was Miss Heartbreak trying to sneak away with that camo. She's taken down. I love to see her in the competition, fighting out here. I don't know, Lethal Vixen, man, woman, I don't know. The Vixen name makes me question, but I'm excited to see how these competitors play as the flag is on the move. Miss Ninjutsu is rotating through elbow, but it's gonna catch the waiting sniper fire being gunned down. It's another round of slays before this flag is gonna get captured, but they cross that 50-yard line. Empathy looking to do their best to make sure that they play some defense here. Another great reposition with the sniper. Pushes up from the back of the base to the middle of the map. That's exactly why they're able to get the defensive 2 kills to put the offense in for TLF, as they now lead 1-0. Team Lethal Fox are proving to be quite lethal. The first capture, and it was a little bit under 3 minutes of time, which actually for Argyle is incredible pacing to get that capture on the board. And now it's on to skill issue to see how they can mount a comeback. Look, we're on board right now with King. It's King versus Emphany in the 1v1. That's gonna be the first kill on the board for King, breaking that 0 goose egg with the trade on the kill.
And I believe a sniper went down there as well. I thought I saw one slip out, so almost a power weapon control spot on the map. If you're able to pick up that sniper, 2 down again for each side. Feels a lot like where we saw previously that first score for TLF started off in the exact same situation. 2 down in the feed, mid-map control, highly contested, as TLF and the likes of Vixen and Empathy rotated and repositioned with those snipers, earned TLF that first score. Let's see if they go back to that strategy here as they're looking to go up 2-0.
Trying to go up 2-0. Basket with a double kill. That's going to give them the map position, and I think here they're going to hold and wait for those power-up spawns before making that push. You see that camo and snipers are in the same time for spawning in, just 4 seconds away. Basket aware of somebody in the vent just above, ducks down to low ground. Gotta shout out Basket here. 8 and 3. Not only getting the slays, but also preserving their life in the process. But there's gonna be a 1v2 situation here. Basket has to dip out of the way, and I'm not sure where that camo is. But I tell you one thing, there's a sniper in the hands of the Awesome who gets the kill, and this is looking great for Skill Issue on the counter.
And Basket ultimately goes down there, but did enough to delay this pull. This pull would have been out maybe 5-10 seconds ago, and God, sometimes just 1 second can be the difference between a score and a non-score here on Argyle. So let's see if Basket, ultimately dying, but going down a little bit later than expected, is enough to prevent this score going in for Skill Issue. But they've got a nice flag out, 2 down for TLF. Watch out.
They got the flag out of the base with the use of that camo that King actually had locked down. Shout out to 90 on the Observer for picking up that question of where was camo, and it was enough to break through to the base. And now they're at that pivotal point on this flag run where they just didn't quite make it around the corner. So King actually has to go out in the open to get the flagpole, knowing that King is going to be taken down, sacrifices their life in order to rotate the flag to that next checkpoint. But there's multiple players on the counter to go down for TLF, and Skill Issue are on the brink of tying up this game.
TLF with 3 down. This should go in for Skill Issue. And my goodness, what an incredible death grenade there from King. Didn't actually get the kill with the grenade, but did enough damage to prevent a reset for TLF. Unbelievable. Again, we're seeing plays being made, Magic, by these open bracket teams that don't necessarily show up in the scoreboard, but they're making the right plays, playing through the processes, which is really impressive to see here from some of these open bracket teams, like we mentioned before, that we haven't seen on the broadcast yet. Playing their corners, playing smart. We see Lethal Vixen with a back smack. Potentially the double as well, but that flag is out. Now a little bit more to worry about if you're Lethal Vixen. But the kill assist double goes down, so that flag run will get neutered instantly.
And look at that assist column. You see 5-5-7-3 quick math says a 20 for team Lethal Fox, and on the opposing side 14. So that assist lead very one-sided for team Lethal Fox, as you saw that double assist coming through, but it's all about the captures. And it's been very much bouncing back and forth from one team to the other. Mist does stop that flag run, sniper back in hand, and one of the things I love about Argyle is the counter snipe possibility, and that's gonna be exactly what happens. Mist, thank you for reading the script.
Lethal thought they were picking up a fresh sniper. They were, but their body was rotten. They went down instantly. Mist ninjutsu with the counter snipe allows their team to now push up towards that mid map, but a huge takedown there for TLF as they're starting to fight back. 1-1 here, just over 5 minutes to go. We're just past the halfway mark. This one is deadlocked even. But like we saw before, that mid-map control was pretty highly contested. Now we see it TLF, but it's like a 55% to 45%. It is not much of an advantage for them.
And Mist is going to hit the body shot, cleaning up with another round of that sniper. 2 rounds left, but this is the push. Look at Skill Issue. They have the positioning to make their own push off of those kills. King picks up a good kill, trying to milk his life in the corner. And now it's all TLF. Look at their spawns. They're all in the back of the base. Skill Issue, if they play this smart, they get the next capture. They take the lead. And if King with a first takedown, patience and aggression need to work in perfect harmony on this push. Mist going after a kill. The melee doesn't connect. Settles for a trade, but that flag is on the run. Is it going to be enough?
More often than not, a score with 4 or less to go on Argyle is enough to hold on to. But here we have a really mixy situation. King about to put the flag in, but the flag is away. They're gonna have to get the return if they want to score, as that flag, as they look across the map, is on the other side. We have a even situation here. Flag out on both sides. Who's gonna get the reset and likely win game 1?
So I was thinking the exact same thing, that this capture could be very likely the game deciding capture. As the reset comes through, the capture is dunked. Ms. Heartbreak clears off the flag, gets the return, and Skill Issue is ready to capitalize with a capture. Is it the game-winning play? All we know right now is TLF are on their back foot, and they need to find a response. They have 3.5 minutes, which is not a lot of time when you're looking at Argyle.
TLF winning that first opening part of the game, but the mid game and the end game so far, Magic, has gone to Skill Issue. That's why they have the 2-1 lead here with just over 3 to go. A few last, maybe even 1 or 2 at most, good pushes for Skill Issue, or excuse me, for TLF if they want to come back here in this game.
Getting at the sniper, Pally. One round doesn't connect. Second round now gonna rely on team fire and the BR, but it's the 2v1 push, and oh my goodness, Miss Heartbreak gets the double kill. 3 go down. That's all for TLF. Skill issue, they were controlling the mid game, and it looks like they're about to dominate the end game as well. If they get this captured, I have to think that's all but a GG's. They're past the halfway mark. They're rotating through. TLF need to get a counter pull or a flag stop, or preferably both in the next 10 seconds.
And what would be a dagger to the heart of TLF as they go down, 2 down, but most importantly, it's those 2 recent flag scores for skill issue, which have them now up by 2 scores, just over 2 to go. That is a convincing lead here on the likes of Argyle. You talk about those insurance scores on the likes of Aquarius, but here on Argyle, those count almost double with the length and the way this map works, how difficult it is to ultimately put a flag in. Skill issue should have a safe lead here with this 2 flag lead.
Yeah, that's some premium level insurance. That's like the platinum tier insurance
Yeah.
when you have the 3-to-1 2 capture advantage, and it really leaves skill issue to just be able to be free to play defense, play for slays, as they don't need to overextend. They don't need to go after a capture. They just need to hold their ground for the last minute 40 seconds of this game. And add insult to injury, it's missed with the camo, being so patient, being so careful about the timing. Gonna take down a kill, but Basket with a perfect frag grenade counter realized that Basket was being chased down. Ends up as a trade, but you taking down Cam in the process, that's a huge play. But even as that trade goes through, look at this. Skill issue don't want to play defense. They want to get another capture as both flags are out.
Skill issue showing that the best defense is a great offense here as they're using this offensive strategy, continuing to play aggressive into the final minutes of this match. Despite being up by 2, they're looking for more. They've got more. 4-1 lead in what was a highly contested match from start to just about finish. This one's now busted wide open. Skill issue have a massive lead.
And I think the conversation has to be like, this is round 1, right? This is round 1 of the open bracket. Maybe it just took those opening 3-4 minutes of the game for skill issue to find their footing, but once they put their foot on the gas, they have not let up. And now it's not a question of if they get this win, it's just a question of, do they get 5 captures first, or do they wait for the time to run out?
No, and this is something you'll see from the likes of an amateur team all the way up to the likes of Optic and FaZe. Triple kill. I thought maybe on the screen, but no. Back to your point, Magic. Yeah, it's one thing. You can play matchmaking before a tournament. You can play Octagon. You can warm up in a 1v1 against another pro. But there is nothing that can duplicate the speed and intensity of a tournament match. That's why you'll start to see teams in those first couple minutes look like they're getting more warmed up, and even as the day progresses, getting more and more comfortable in that spot because of just the difference in intensity in a tournament makes all the difference, as skill issue has the difference here. 4-1 on Argyle CTF as they lead the series 1-0, needing 1 Slayer win in game 2 to move on with the sweep.
In the early stages of that game, we saw the first capture going to Team Lethal Fox, and then 4 unanswered captures. What a quick flip of the script for Team Skill Issue in this best of 3 to stay in the winner's side of this open bracket. It's going to come down to Live Fire Slayer, where Skill Issue, do they keep on with that momentum, right? We saw them take a few minutes in the early stages of the game to kind of hit their stride, and I don't know if that's because they were feeling, like you were saying, maybe a little rusty, a little bit of a warm-up, or was it due to just how differently Argyle CTF plays to like something very more standard, more predictable, like a Live Fire Slayer? I kind of expect them to come out full speed ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what the stats were and who had the most kills and deaths from that last match, because it felt like a fairly even kill death scoreboard, whereas the scoreboard entirely was way off, was widely disputed, or excuse me, not disputed at all. 4-1 endgame. But let's take a look real quick, the stats, just kind of taking a quick glance at, yeah, look at skill issue. At this point, it's 2-1, they're down, and they're actually up 1. It's a +1, I think. Yeah, plus, so look at that. Look at the efficiency. However, that bodes well for them going into a game 2, right? So they were able to slay with skill issue in game 1. They just didn't have the objective efficiency. So to answer your question now, Magic, that tells me that these guys, TLF, they're up for the challenge. They were slaying out with this skill issue squad, and they can do that in game 2. Slayer, it's wide open.
Yeah, but I hear your point, and I agree with you for the most part. It's kind of early in the day for me to pick a fight with Kowski. I'm gonna try to be nice, but the thing was that TLF had that assist advantage in the early stages. I remember the score was 1-1, and TLF had like a +5, +6 to assist count. At the end of the game, it had completely flipped over. All of a sudden, Skill Issue had started to get their team fire intact, had started to climb that assist column. And to me, if you're looking at a Slayer, that team fire is going to be also crucial. You come out here to live fire, you're going to be team firing to cover overshield, to pick up that sniper. You're going to have assists when a sniper hits a body shot and a teammate cleans up the kill. So I think that Skill Issue really were coming back in the later stages of that game in the assist column. And I think that bodes well for them to take the series 2-0, but it wasn't by a wide margin. You were saying it well. TLF was right there in the fight when it came to kills, assists. They just couldn't get the captures.
Well, you really got to credit Skill Issue, the amateur team, for their objective efficiency there, because, you know, it wasn't a +15, +20, right? That's usually on Argyle CTF Magic. You need a +15, +20 kill death disparity to outscore your opponent by 3 scores like we saw there from Skill Issue. So it's so weird because, yeah, you could make an argument for TLF, but then you look back at the eye test for Skill Issue and you kind of think, wow, this should be a 2-0. But what's great about this Magic is that the players get to decide it for themselves.
But you mean that you and I can't just like sit at a debate podium and decide how this plays out? I didn't rethink my job as a caster. I thought we had a little bit more direct impact in the game, but no, it's up to the players.
It's like
up to the 8 players out here right now.
You see, like Twitch chat plays Pokemon. This is like Twitch casters play Halo, right? Put us on the sticks, man. Let us get in on this action. As it's been so fun to watch these open bracket teams, these players that maybe the community has never heard of. And I know we talked about this at the very beginning, Magic, but for us, LVT, ourselves individually, it is so important to put a spotlight on the community and the players that put themselves into the arena. It is not easy to step into these tournaments, man. It is not easy to go compete against the world's best or even just some of the other open bracket teams, right? Like there's so much scrutiny on competing, and if you have a bad game, you know, that kind of stuff can stick with you going into your real life and the mental side of things. So it is, again, all credit in the world to all the competitors here today, because it takes a lot to step into the arena.
Yeah, you really set yourself up for the potential of, you know, judgment, of scrutiny, and, you know, you got to set your ego aside if you have that heart of a competitor. And I think that's what we respect about these players at any level, is they love this game. They're here to compete, win or lose. They're putting in the work. And the fight's going to be going down here for Overshield. Lethal Vixen picks it up. Did they get stuck? No. The Overshield is popped fully active. I thought that grenade was going to be the trade out of the Overshield. Very close game in the early stages, but Lethal Vixen has the opportunity to shift the tide of this game.
Yeah, Lethal Vixen thought for a second had a lethal trade there potentially with that sticky grenade, but no, it did not connect. She tries to now connect with the long range on Nest. It doesn't, as we have a 6-6 tied here. Overshield depleted, but the push is not. Lethal Vixen with the nades out, but where's the team support? I don't see any blue players here for the rest of Lethal Vixen. All red, and that's going to be red dead. Where is TLF? They're going to have to get on this push here quickly if they want to survive the damage disparity here, as TLF do a pretty good job, honestly. Maybe part of the strategy playing back Lethal Vixen a little forward there instead. If you can reel that in, this TLF squad does absolutely have a chance here in game 2.
We have the awesome with the awesome sniper in hand. 24 seconds for the next round of Overshield, and maybe a little bit early positioning, but I don't hate it. Looking for angles to kind of line up cover fire with that sniper. Watching window, watching top of sandbags, and the rest of Skill Issue is really locking down that C side, that tower. So you can tell that Awesome is trusting teammates to have their back while they scope out to this A side of the map. And even though they might have set up early for the Overshield, it looks like that patience is paying off. The Shroud Screen providing the coverage for Awesome to pick up the Overshield clean.
Now look at this, Magic. This is so interesting. I hope these pro teams are watching this. A lot of players on the with the Shroud Screen and the Overshield, they popped that Shroud Screen on top of the OS. There, the Shroud Screen went below the Overshield, which allowed that glimmer, the top of the biome dome, to allow cover, but still allow the opportunity to look out and shoot out as well. So I see so often this Shroud Screen meta developing before our eyes, and I think we might see a new place to potentially try popping it instead of directly on top of the Overshield. Maybe down underneath is instead, and getting that little biome cover at the top is the optimal play.
I mean, I like it. It's almost like a half wall, right? That
Yeah.
you can peek out and shoot over the top of, or you can duck back into.
Yep.
So it definitely worked out in that situation, and it was a very well executed play. You could tell it was planned with how early the setup from Awesome to that overshield happened. You could tell that they were playing not just a 10-second fight, but a full 30, 45 second strategy was really developing there for Skill Issue. They have that 5-point lead. Infamy gets a takedown. Infamy, as the team captain here for TLF, is having a good game, but it hasn't been enough for them to take back the lead. As we get closer to that mid stage, this sniper switching hands is a crucial point of the game.
Yeah, we had seen Awesome with that sniper previously. 6-3-3 with it. Now Vixen needing to match that to match the overall score. Down 4 here. Looking to take top snipe control, but has no shields. Overshield up at 25. Do we see Skill Issue here set up early for it once again? And what I noticed on the last sequence, Magic, is that kind of forced TLF to rotate. I think before they wanted to rotate because the sniper shots were already going off at that overshield. As Lethal Vixen looks to pop off, has the backsmack help from Basket. And the overshield up in 5. 2 kills separating these two teams. This is a crucial scenario right here.
You don't see that TLF is overextending for the overshield. Instead, they're using it as bait. And I know you're a fan. Infamy hops on, grabs the overshield at the last second. But it's the round of slays that has flipped the scoreboard. TLF now taking the lead. Their patience for that overshield, using it to bait out Skill Issue. And that was a mid-game adjustment from Team TLF. Really impressive how they played that overshield pickup differently than the one before. And Lethal Vixen, credit to the patience. It's hard. You get that itchy trigger finger, especially when you have the power weapon, but locking down the tower the whole time and giving team base of operation to work off of. Awesome is right below the stairs. An easy back smack for Vixen, looking for the double kill as the assist comes through. 3-point lead at the midway point for TLF.
TLF flips the map and flips this score on its head. Now up 3, and I love that Magic. You know when you go into like Google Maps and you type in an address and it gives you a couple options, a couple of routes to take? TLF took the opposite, the exact opposite route. They went from the backside of C to OS, whereas Skill Issue looked to just dominate OS and look out to A. Completely different strategy. The end result is the same, though. The overshield gets grabbed. It gets put to good use for Skill Issue. That's why they were up. But now, just like that, TLF up 1, coming back on a little bit of a comeback themselves.
It's high game here, and it looks like that route that they chose from Google Maps, they wanted to take the scenic route instead of the highway, right? The highway being too much contested. Now's your time to take a little bit of a detour. And again, you still get to the same destination, either road that you pick. As the kills continue to trade out, we see another lead change. Skill Issue now with just the slimmest 2-point advantage. And this game is stacking up to go the distance. I mean, this is about to be like a 48-50, a 49-50 game with how that lead has been bouncing back and forth, and the primary rounds of slays have been based off of this spawn. This one's different though. Sniper and overshield both spawning in. You have to pick which power up you're going to invest in.
Overshield, always an important point of emphasis in any Halo, on any map that has it, but here, Magic, it seems to have a little extra emphasis. This match entirely seems to be played around the overshield, quite literally, physically, and metaphorically. As Mist goes down, Lethal Vixen gets that overshield, and now TLF with this overshield has a little bit of opportunity, but no, that's just going to be used to keep Lethal Vixen alive. Not going to be able to take any advantage of the overshield, but it's the Walshy double grenade taking down their opponent. Lethal finding the tie. No, Skill Issue now up 1, 35-34. This one's close.
I have to think that Lethal Vixen and Infamy are a duo. The way that they've been playing together, covering for each other, cleaning up each other's kills. Infamy had an incredible stretch of about 30 seconds at 1 HP and a dream. Stayed alive until Lethal Vixen was able to come through, get that kill, and then another duo-like play where Lethal Vixen was taking the attention. Infamy rotates around behind, gets the back smack for the takedown. I like to see how these teams are strategizing, how they're working, whether it's as a full team of 4 or even if they're splitting up in those 2v2 strategies that we saw. It's the grenades though from Miss Heartbreak. That could be the breakthrough kill. The first one taken down. Now Skill Issue are back on the approach. Couple of trades and it looks like we're even 2-2, but the sniper in hand, Miss Heartbreak is gonna go for that trade.
Skill Issue taking the highway. TLF taking the farm to market. Which route is going to end up in the final destination that these two teams both are vying for? The W. Skill Issue with the 1 kill lead, 41-40. We are into the end game here as Skill Issue looks to balance and maintain this lead, maybe extend it a little bit with this next overshield up in 10.
On board now with King. 7 kills, but 9 assists. Looking for that 10th assist. Wants the wingman, and there it is. Assist number 10. Wingman medal comes through. Just give the credit that you're a solid team player. Awesome goes through, tries to clean up 1 kill, ends up settling for another. And as TLF goes 3 down, the 3-point lead for Skill Issue, missed with the full overshield, could just lead the charge on the final round of slays for Skill Issue. There's a player around the corner, just down below with Basket being found out. The assist comes through. Miss is gonna pop a quick reload, but that overshield has been spent on that kill. Maintaining the 5-point lead though, as the snipe kill comes through for King. Now it's Skill Issue 3 kills away from taking the series.
In what was once a 1-kill game in the 40s, Skill Issue have now found a 5-kill lead. And they'll like to sit on that snipe tower for the rest of this match. King looking to lock down that location on the map, as it should lead to a lockdown in this series 2-0, but sensing the loss, sensing the end of this series, TLF is going to crank down the pace of play, and you may not see another kill until this next overshield comes up even.
A brief slowdown. Both teams kind of dividing this map in half. They're taking their portion, waiting for a perfect line of sight for that headshot. If King can find a perfect headshot here with the last round of the sniper, that could open the floodgates for the final push. As they get the takedown, they get the cleanup kill, and now only 2 away. Now you see that pace being cranked back up by Skill Issue. They know that they have the advantage. They even have the new sniper in hand. So even though that last round of 1 sniper was expended, there's another sniper. It's awesome. Who has the sniper? Has the headshot. 1 kill away. King goes in. It's gonna be a mind the gap for the win.
Skill Issue showing that they don't have a skill issue. There's not a shader issue. There's no connection issue. They've got it under control here as they win convincingly 2-0 in Magic. I got to go back to when it was 41-40. Great. If you're a player in that platinum diamond area or whatever, listen here, because this is a huge pivotal key moment. 39-40. You can see here Skill Issue 2-2 in the feed. Actually 1-1, so 3 players alive for each team, but they have the numbers advantage. And you're probably thinking, Mac, why are you're faded again, bro? It's been 2 weeks. You're faded already. It's the first series of the game, but it was the fact that Skill Issue had the damage numbers here just after this. So it was even in the feed up until this moment, but Skill Issue had the damage numbers right here. Watch. Damage lead there on the guy bottom mid. You can see the wingman come and kill assist. That's when the emphasis pushed up. Another damage number advantage right here in the corner on the left. So despite the fact that numbers were technically even or close in the feed, only a 1-2 difference here, disparity, TLF had 3-4 members of their team with low damage. Skill Issue did a great job here recognizing that they had numbers advantage. And again, I have to go back to numbers advantage doesn't always mean it's the players on the map, right? It could be the damage disparity between the 2 teams. If you have damage on the other team, you have numbers. Skill Issue doing a great job recognizing that, almost like a pro team would. And as they pushed with the gas and the emphasis at the end, we saw it was 41-40. And they won convincingly in the end because of this very recognition and strategy that they deployed. Great job here from Skill Issue.
Yeah, you have to think that the comms were on point, because as soon as they had that advantage for damage, they took advantage of the rest of the game. They won overshield off of that push. They won the sniper off of that push, and that really was the cherry on top for this series, with Skill Issue taking the win 2-0. And it was dicey. It was very, very much uncertain throughout the game until the final stage. And this was the last slowdown. And then we'll see the opening pick from King over to Nest side, which was the final opening of the floodgates for the last kills. A nice series, and I like to see new players being highlighted. Mrs. Heartbreak, she played in the ladies tournament series that wrapped up just yesterday on Team Amazonian, so I want to shout her out specifically. Even at this point in the game right there, 15-10 for her stat line. A very impressive play from the whole team.
All right, the challenge doesn't get any easier for Skill Issue as they'll take on Locked in the next round. That's Envor, Tony, 2 Turk, Jazero, and Arctic. We've got more Halo on the flip side of this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.